Is your administration food stamps, SNAP benefits? Is your administration?
Well, we're going to get it done. The Democrats have caused the problem on food stamps. Of course, all they have to do is sign. And, you know, if they sign, I'll meet with them.
The easiest way to define SNAP benefits is to say it's the new name for food stamps. Essentially, it's the same. 42 million Americans get SNAP benefits, which is encouraging in a way. We're obviously reaching people who need it, but it's also shocking and depressing in another way, that 42 million Americans need food help, and they really do.
I don't know what I would eat because I rely on that to expect to eat for the month. That would hurt my pocket. I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, there's other programs that offer you food boxes and stuff, but it's not the food that you want to eat. You can use your food stamp card and go anywhere that accepts EBT, and they'll take it. So that's good, you know, right?
This program is a blessing. It's a very blessing to know that they are helping us and helping our kids and helping us be able to feed our children when we don't have jobs right now, or we can't really get unemployment, or we can't get stuff like that. It's a blessing to know that they would help us like this.
Never before in American history, not once under a Democratic president or Republican president, has SNAP funding lapsed during a shutdown. Not even in 2019 during Trump's last shutdown. In fact, Trump himself funded SNAP throughout that shutdown. So this argument that he can't do it, that he doesn't have the money, that it's not legal, is just bull. Self-serving, nasty, vicious bull. And he's saying, the hell with you. I need you to be my hostage for political purposes because I don't want to provide health care for the American people.
Mr. President,
The Majority Leader.
SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out, 29 days in, that, oh, there might be some consequences. There are people who run out of money. Yeah, we're 29 days in.
It is sort of remarkable. I think things happen by degrees, and the boiling frog.
I've noticed both Democrats and Republicans are not just acknowledging this as a problem, it's causing them to have more conversations, which they should have been having on October 1st to get things back running. And conversation is not a solution, but it's a first step. Now that Trump is back in the country, he can also be involved in this. And when you get Trump on a subject like this, he's at a disadvantage, and he knows it. Most billionaires don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. That's what I've been told. I don't know many billionaires.
Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? Why don't the Democrats just stop this entire charade and reopen the government so that we don't have to try to make this thing work on a shoestring budget, which is what we're trying to do. The unfortunate reality, and we're starting to see this with our aviation industry, we're going to find out the hard way with SNAP benefits. The American people are already suffering, and the suffering is going to get a lot worse. Not because the President of the United States has failed to make the shutdown painless. He's tried to do everything that he can to make it as unpainless as possible. The reason that pain is coming and the reason it's building is because we're not passing the clean bill to reopen the government. It's a very easy thing to do.
But it's reached the people who make the decisions, and they realize as they think about it, this is potentially a disaster. They can get through a week or two. They can send extra money and food to the food banks. But if it goes on, then you can imagine what the TV pieces are going to be like every evening. It's going to be sad and miserable.
Her next question.
So that's why today I'm officially declaring an emergency. This is a food emergency. And I want to unleash every tool at our disposal to keep New Yorkers from going hungry. I have to be honest, no state, including our own, can backfill the money, because I'm going to tell you a number. It's $650 million every month is what we get from the federal government, our people do, for SNAP programs. We can't backfill that, but we have some strategies. Because I believe it's immoral for people to suffer, because Republicans will not unleash the food emergency funds that are sitting there. That's immoral.
And what the polls are saying cumulatively is that people are disproportionately blaming Trump and the Republicans in Congress. However, it is not by an overwhelming margin. Democrats also have a sizable portion of the population blaming them. And then you have another part of the population, maybe they're the most accurate, blaming everybody, because it's always a bit of both. It tells me there isn't a clear edge for one party, but if you had to pick one, it would be Democrats, and that's what you would think would be true. Republicans control the White House, the Senate, the Supreme Court. You know, what else is there? The bureaucracy, they control that. And so my sense of it is that if Democrats find a way to end this soon, they will end it on a note that will help them, because the public's already tilting toward them. One other point. So I tell them that trash can over there is based on a design by Thomas Jefferson. He used wood and we used plastic.
So what used to be known as food stamps, now nationally known as SNAP, and then locally in California known as CalFresh, those benefits are going to experience a disruption, which is going to increase the need for food assistance in communities in Los Angeles County and really nationally. Today, really for the last week and into the future for a little while as well, we have the National Guard with us. They're incredibly efficient. We're very grateful to have the help of the National Guard. Really, when you look back at the COVID-19 pandemic, we had the National Guard in a similar role for about 2 years. So they're helping to prepare the food, glean the food, make sure it's healthy and safe as we distribute it out into the community.
So there's 38 of us here today. We're here to help our community out by packaging fresh produce so that our community can have the resources that they need in this difficult time. The longer the government shutdown goes on,
the more likely we are to see higher levels of need and the need for food assistance in communities in Los Angeles and throughout the country. So it is really important that this gets resolved. You know, we stay out of the politics of it. All we know is that there are people who are facing food and nutrition insecurity. There are people who are facing hunger in our communities. And as as a food bank, we don't want to see that. We want to see people getting the food that they need. We don't want to see people go hungry. So we want anybody who lives in LA County to visit lafoodbank.org/findfood to locate food distributions near them. And on the national level, go to feedingamerica.org to find a food bank near you and access those food distributions locally.
I think it's important that we remember that humans deserve to have food and water and housing and medical care for free. Those are things, but I think that historically we've taken those things and commodified it to now where the people who need it most can't get it. And when we look at who is a part of these communities, it's always been the marginalized, it's always been the disabled. When I left TV, I got on SNAP, and it kind of is one of those things of these are supplemental resources that help. I know what it's like to give my kids food and not eat for the night. I know what it's like to make sure that at the end of the day, my kids have all that they need while I go without. We really believe that during this time where the government has their hands in a lot of pots on how people can eat, we wanted to create a resource for people to just come with no judgment, because we know what it's like to be in that situation. We both were unhoused at one point because of domestic violence, and we needed resources. I'm concerned, right? I know that I have community that isn't going to let me go hungry. And I know for me, if we have the resources to crowd fund, food for people, we're going to make sure that we help.
Because an HBCU would fit a lot of these students. All of them are brown or black. All of them. So in looking at that, this shutdown, there's so many other things that you could have pulled back on, cut off, other than people's food source when they have none. We're not relying on systems right now, clearly. This is the new foundation, the foundation of community, the foundation of understanding what community means and how you support each other.
One of the things that I always remind people is that you can never look at someone and tell that they are actually hungry. And when you're assessing hunger, the question is, have I had enough to eat today? Or do I have access to enough? And you can't tell that by looking at someone. We know that households with children are the highest percentage of SNAP recipients in the country. And so you think of the benefit that those SNAP allotments, as we're going through several waves of the pandemic, we're still dealing with price inflation. We were dealing with supply chain shortages. So there was a lot of compounding issues, again, that those SNAP emergency allotments allowed us to see our way through. Now what we're hearing from families is this is not enough. Food is a basic human right. However you align yourself politically, people still need to eat.